Welcome back to Journey to Be an Astronaut podcast. We talk about everything and anything astronaut related. If you're looking for adventure, this is the place to be. Or adventure, science, and I'm still working on the intro. We'll figure it out. Anyway, alright. So today we're going to be talking about coding with Python. And what coding is, and a lot of the specific functions within Python that make it, that make it super helpful for a beginner, as well as transferable to other languages. I think to start, it's best to start talking about what is coding in the first place. Because if you're just getting started, when I started coding, I didn't really understand what it was. I always thought it was just some you plug something into the computer, it spits something out, um, and then it like I always pictured the hacker guy from the Steel movies. Like the Italian Job was a good one. But let's see. No, so coding, all you're really doing, you're inputting a couple lines or commands to the computer itself. It backs off of what the computer system does already. So when you plug it in, the way computer works, it will take out it will kind of tell your computer to do whatever you need it to do, and then it will go. You know, you can make pictures out of it. You can make entire games or phrases, websites out of it. There's a whole wide range of things you can do, but it's really helpful. Yeah, so that's coding. So why should you code with Python? Coding with Python is a good coding language for beginners. Specifically because the language is, pretty simple. It's a lot more simplified than some of the other ones. And it's also extremely transferable to, languages like C++, MATLAB and things like that. Additionally, a lot of the big companies have started using Python, like Google. Right. So, to start off, coding at its basic form it has a few elements that is, extremely crucial that you master. You have your variables, your phrases, your strings, and we'll talk about numbers later. Let's see. So, a variable is an object that you utilize within the code. It's something that you make a usable item. So let's say pi 3.14. You make x equal pi, or character underscore name equals a name, John. So then whenever you put that variable into a command, it replaces that item. This makes it much easier to and much faster to get through your coding. And then your strings are also very, very crucial. A string is what allows you to submit an item multiple times throughout your code. This is one of the most powerful things in, coding at all. Because you can put a string on top of another string, and then it becomes really easy to carry entire sections, just copy and paste. And then phrases, it's basically you type in a phrase equals, and then in quotation marks, let's say, what's the phrase, welcome to YouTube. You can also pick out a specific part of the phrase, such as the W. This is where you use square brackets to insert the placement of the letter. So, and because it's a computer, it starts at 0 instead of 1. And then you can also replace a part of the phrase that you put in. So you can use phrase.replace, and then in parentheses you can change it around. So instead of welcome to YouTube, it's welcome to the internet. Coding can be pretty overwhelming when you first start. So when it comes to coding, eating the whole elephant at once is the wrong way of looking at it. So if you break it up into the smaller elements, then you'll be coding in no time. I'll put a video from Free Coding Academy in YouTube. It's a 4-hour video. That's an intro to Python. It shows you how to install and start using Python. It'll go through all this stuff in a lot more detail. I don't get anything from it. It's just what I'm using to learn Python as well. Alright. Next up are inputs. So inputs are what you can use to interface with the user. You can set up a text for them to answer, such as enter your name, enter your age, and then you can make a whole phrase that kind of pops up: hello plus name plus you are plus age. Hello, John, you are 18. Hello, Jezebel, you are 27. So, and then you can also make a basic calculator out of a few variables and inputs, and then with the result, and using the float command. The float command is similar to integers, but the float takes into account decimals. Since this is a calculator, it's likely going to just put in a 2 or a 4. You're going to put in 7.2467812 something like that. Alright, next up we're going to look at the toolbox we have instead of the exact tools and elements we use. So in the toolbox, you got the if-else statements, you got this requires the use of all of the variables and the strings that we've already covered. So it's very important to learn and drive into the brain. They show up everywhere. Learn it, live it, breathe it. So operators. To start off, an operator is a command that utilizes things like arithmetic and lists. Subtraction, addition, multiplication, stuff that you could use in the basic calculator. This can be considered as an arithmetic operator. So, for example, x plus y, 7 plus 29 equals 36. There are more complex strings that use scientific calculator stuff. And that's if you include a library into your code. And then you have loops. Loops works with the commands and lists of numbers and statements in order to formulate some kind of answer. So next we have loops. A loop is something that will take one of your commands and then it'll take the numbers of things in order and it will formulate some kind of answer for you. let's say, for example, it's counting to 5 or counting to 10, and while the count is less than 5, x is equal to 7. It goes from top to bottom, and in addition, you can have continue to break loops. Continue and break loops are used in conjunction with for while loops. They can stop and restart a function. Then you have else statements that you throw in. This will only be executed if the while statement above it works. And then functions is just a way to organize your code, make it more readable, and makes it, so you're not spending 12 hours doing the same thing. It makes it readable, repeatable. And then finally, arrays. An array, it holds the items or values. It's like a bookshelf. So each book on the shelf is an element, and the number the book is associated with is the index within the array. In the description as well, I'll throw in a couple articles as well that will really that puts all this in word form and makes it easier to understand. This is also where all my references are, and they have examples of all the code you can use. And the first article I'll put in will help you install Python and Pycharm. Pycharm is where you can run and test the Python code. Yeah. So that's going to be it for today. This has been Journey to Be an Astronaut podcast. Stay safe out there.